Hi there. I feel like I wasn't clear in my last instructional video, so I'm making another one. Here we go. So I'm on my back with my knees bent and the soles of my feet on the floor. And so much of life is spent going forward, front body, face, fronts of the legs, shins, tops of the feet, that we don't give credence to the back body. So I'm trying to take that energy that usually thrusts forward now, and I'm trying to just drop it back into my back body and onto the floor. So there's some specific points of contact, the soles of the feet, obviously, and my inner elbows are on the floor now. And then around that area, too, is this broad expanse of my back pelvis, specifically my sacrum, that broad swath of bone at the bottom of your spine, and then the pelvis flares off the sacrum, so I can feel both my pelvis and my sacrum on the floor. And then there's a hollow where my lower back is. My lower back is not touching the floor, I'm just noticing that. But my upper back is, and by upper back I mean that area like just south of the bottoms of the shoulder blades, and then all the way up in that super flexible part of the spine, well, relatively flexible part of the spine, the thoracic spine, up there. So I'm going to breathe into that upper area. I'm going to send the breath backwards. I'm going to take 5 breaths, focusing on that back body. Notice how the breathing in may change the orientation of even the back of your head, which is that other key point of contact on the floor right now, the back of your skull. The back of my neck is certainly not on the floor. I'm not jamming my throat down or anything. My neck is suspended in space right now. Letting everything drop back. And then feel for this. I want you to really activate the backs of your knees, like squeeze the backs of your knees. Now, as you do that, watch what happens to your pelvis, the soles of your feet, and even the front of your pelvis. So now let's wrap around to the front. Now that we're activating the hamstrings and the backs of the knees, notice how that activates up in the pelvis area. So let's now wrap around to the front, and using our hands, we're going to put our thumbs on our lower ribs, right? On our lower ribs, and then I'm going to put my fingertips, my pinky fingertips, on those bones that jut out, the hip points, we like to call them. The hip points. So now I've got my thumbs on my lower ribs and my pinkies on my hip points. Still, my knees are bent. And now I'm just going to play around with lengthening and shortening that space. So I'm going to inhale and lengthen that space. I'm going to bring my ribs and my hip points apart, effectively putting me into a cow. Feel how now the points of contact in the pelvis have changed. Now I'm rocked way down at the bottom of my pelvis towards my tailbone. And then I'm going to exhale out and shorten the distance between my pinkies and my thumbs. Now notice what your pelvis is doing here. Rocking up to bring the tailbone off the floor, and the tailbone is now actually hooking up towards the ceiling. So I'm going to take my hands away if I'm comfortable with that. And I'm actually going to press my palms together and point my fingertips up towards the ceiling. And now I'm going to start to bring myself into spinal flexion in my neck. So I'm going to start to give myself a double chin, right? I'm not going to bring my head completely off the floor yet, but I'm going to start to flex my neck. And now I'm going to start to bring my the back of my head up. I'm going to press my soles of my feet down and now lift up into our first significant spinal flexion. Effectively some kind of a crazy crunch, right? And not a very comfortable one. Exhale down for 8. Inhale. Exhale and lift. 9. I'm going to focus, as I'm doing this activity, I'm going to focus on just simply shortening the distance between the bottoms of my ribs and my hip points. And then when I go back, I'm going to make the distance bigger. It's effectively a cat-cow in an uncomfortable space, right? Okay, so I think that gives you an idea of what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to create traction in the front body through traction and cardiac plexus opening through activities like that. I didn't have any props down here like the ab ball and the blocks, but there would be an ab ball at some point going behind my back in that area where I was lifting up. We'd be doing things like that, then being able to flex back over the ab ball, all kinds of core activating things like that. I hope this was a little clearer. And if you still want to do that, let me know. Okay? Bye.